you're moving from place to place, place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. I'm Julien, Skeete, and we're heading on in to this next segment as we continue the conversation on World Travel Market 2023. And we have joining us online the Honorable Chief Secretary Farley Chavez Augustine out there at World Travel Market in London. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Skeete. Good morning to you, Tobago. Is that who I'm seeing there?
As Adanna, yes.
Oh, Adanna, yes. Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning.
I was blocking part of the script.
Yes.
How are you doing right there?
We are well, thank you. How is it going there? What are we talking about? How is it going at World Travel Market 2023? We're getting straight into the conversation as it relates to the happenings out there. We've been seeing a lot circulating coming out of the office of the Chief Secretary, the Facebook page there. We've seen all the entertainment, the interactions, the conversations that are happening there. And of course, we just spoke with Councillor Tashia Boris, and she gave us some information where we want to hear your perspective in terms of the conversations you've been having and the things we can look forward to coming out of World Travel Market 2023.
Well, good morning again, Tobago. Good morning again, Skeete, Adanna. You know, it's cold here. So besides the temperature, we are seeking to bring the warmth of the islands to this part of the world. More than that, we are looking at how we can have the brand for Tobago, the brand of Tobago Beyond, evolve even more. We have spent quite a number of years looking at Tobago from the perspective of its natural environment, its rich natural environment, and we continue to do so, continue to hold on to those. And if you see the sites of the stand, it's reflective of those. But in this year's installation, we are spending some time focusing on the culture that is Tobago, on the people that is Tobago, because we also believe that what makes Tobago great is really you and I, the people, our food, our dances, our music, the songs, the sights that is Tobago. And so on Thursday this week, we are launching with National Geography a new cycle. 2 years ago, we did something called Full of Life. When I said we, I mean the Tobago's we did something called Full of Life with National Geography. And this year, we're launching a new episode, and I think we'll be going live when we do that, where we focus on Tobago's culture, Tobago's rich heritage, and our food as part of our selling point. I am also spending quite a bit of time here seeing how we can attract airlift to the island of Tobago, and airlift at a much more affordable rate. And even while we're having this conversation, we are celebrating the fact that Condor has returned for this winter season, and we are trying to see if we could get them through this summer period as well. I have had conversations with Caribbean Airlines, who is also represented here, my good friends at Caribbean Airlines, about how we can get the challenges we have with airlift fixed, and we can get the connectivity going. In order for the tourism sector to do well, we have to have movement of people and getting people to the island. The service industry that is the tourism sector requires having people coming in the island. That transient population is critical to the survival of this sector. As we saw a few weeks ago over the carnival period, we're also looking at all the festivals we have, having them well timed, well marketed, so that we can ensure that Tobago is celebrated. I believe Secretary Boris might have mentioned to you that from here in London, the marketing has started for the carnival period next year, October. She may have mentioned that. So that too, we'll see a much more advanced marketing, and the likelihood of even greater turnout will be there. Of course, we have to continue doing some work on the accommodation side. So we have the Manta Lodge, which we can now say we are scheduling to open on February the 1st, 2024. We also have Elephant Tree in Roxborough. Construction is well underway there at Roxborough, and that will be the first major resort development in that part of the island. We also have a Secret and Dreams, and that's at Kilburn Bay Estate. And we have about to come on stream that 7-man team that will monitor the development there to ensure that they do their build out in keeping with environmental regulations, which is sustainable and dreams are part of the application. And they will also bring two high-end to the space, and those high-end resorts will be one for couples, one for family, uh, and so those accommodations will well for the island, ensure room stock and the quality of the room stock is where it ought to be.
All right. Chief Secretary, tell us a little bit about, we noted from the highlights we've seen thus far in terms of the cross-section of the contingent representing out there, as you have mentioned, in terms of the largest booth representation ever. Tell us a little bit about that combination and the strategic mandate, so to speak, in terms of pushing Tobago in this direction, and most certainly coming off of the heights of what the general Tobago population feels was definitely quite a successful Tobago October Carnival execution in its second edition.
Well, when we look at our neighbors here and where we are located, right opposite us is the Bahamas, and alongside the Bahamas and adjacent to us is Barbados. And then we have in the background of that Jamaica, we have Antigua and Barbuda, I think on the right hand of us. We have the Caribbean Tourism Organization with territories like Grenada and Anguilla on the left hand side of us. So we are surrounded by territories, all of which have far larger tourist intake than Tobago. You're talking about Anguilla that might have an average about 75,000 visitors per year. If you go to Barbados and Grenada, you're talking about territories that crossing the 1 million international visitor mark. And so we are forced to showcase Tobago in a space where all of our neighbors are already taking the lion's share of visitors to the Caribbean, in an environment where tourism is the single largest contributor to the region's GDP. And so we had to strategically decide to either go big or not come at all. Tobago spends far less on marketing than our nearest neighbor in the Caribbean. And we're talking about Barbados or Grenada. We spend far less on marketing our island than they do. And then we also see the volumes that they are able to attract. Therefore, at World Travel Market, we had to find a way to stand out. And again, what helps us stand out is really the performing arts. So like yesterday, when our dancers and singers strike up, everybody left where they were and came to us, including the Bajans came across. The Bahamians were coming around with their trays with whatever rum they were offering, and it became a whole Caribbean session inside of the Tobago space. And that's what we wanted, to be able to attract the world to our space, to say, look, there's something unique, something extraordinarily special about this very tiny island, this dot on the map that can punch above its weight. And it's important to understand that we are actually doing it alone this year. Last year we were joined by Visit Trinidad. This year they have opted not to attend. In ITB Germany, they initially said they were going to attend with us, and then at the last minute pulled out and just did not mobilize and attend with us. But tourism is important to Tobago. It may not be as important to our neighboring island next door, but us in Tobago, where we don't have a large manufacturing sector, and in a country where agriculture only accounts for under 1% of our productive output, we have to take tourism seriously. And this Tobago House of Assembly is taking tourism seriously. And one of the reasons why you're seeing so many images and You're seeing the videos and so on is for transparency. We want people back home in Tobago, you back home in Tobago, to have an appreciation for what goes into it. It's a lot of hard work. As a matter of fact, if I just give you a quick glance of what our schedule looks like, and see us showing photos and so on. When we look at what our schedules look like during the day, you're talking about easily we start at 10 a.m. and we finish our day at 6 p.m. And today we are going beyond 6 p.m. because we have an event with Wanderlust, sorry, at the British Museum later this evening. And we will be going through no less than 50 engagements over the period. And so we find ourselves having to split up. The secretary and myself, we split up to different meetings. We have the public servants here, we have the TTAL representatives here, and we split up. We do the negotiations, we do the conversations, we do the discussions. We look at different opportunities. We met yesterday with BA to ensure that they remain a solid partner for us. And several other agencies. This morning we have already met with food and travel. And in this episode of food and travel, which will really speak to where people should go for 2024, Tobago is featured heavily in it for none other than our food. And I seen the wonderful photo spread, and that's because of the work that TTAL is doing in the back to ensure that Tobago is properly marketed. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised when I went through the magazine this morning, and I'm seeing my goodly folks I'm up in Lansome, my blue food people being represented. We've seen photos of Roku and all kind of thing inside of the magazine. This is a testament to the kind of work that goes into getting visitors to the island. And let me also add this: the way tourism works is that you don't do the work today for tomorrow. So the work we did last year, we are seeing the impact of it this year. And when we started BA is indicating that they're seeing a 20% increase year on year, and that we are pretty close to achieving 2019 figures, which is the pre-COVID figures, which is a sign that the industry is bouncing back. And BA reported yesterday that the growth they are seeing for the Tobago market for them is consistent with what they're seeing across the rest of the region. So the work we're doing now is really for 2024 to have increase in the number of flights, increase in the visitor load, increase in terms of the spend, in terms of forex on the island, and that will augur well for the entire island, for all our sectors, because we all depend on the tourism sector. So again, congratulations to the folks at TTAL and for those in the Division of Tourism being led by Secretary Boris.
Are you any more hopeful, Chief, regarding the improved situation? I know you spoke about improved flights and so on as we heading on into 2024, particularly with Carl. I know we just chatted with the Secretary in relation to looking at a more direct flights coming back to the Tobago space. But even so, also still looking for that improvement in terms of Caribbean Airlines. I know they're one of the entities represented out there at World Travel Market. Are you hopeful?
I am hopeful for the first time in a long while. I will want to have some further conversations, particularly with the CEO of CAL, before I sort of indicate what the strategy is. But when I met with the marketing manager, I believe she is, who is here, and I discussed with her some potential strategy to improve on the intake with CAL. Because as you may be aware, prior to COVID, CAL ran about 22 to 24 trips daily between the islands, and that is down to half of that, to about 12. And on weekends in particular, long weekends, public holidays, we have grave difficulty in terms of getting people to and fro. And the synergy has not always been right, but we're working on it I presented a strategy yesterday, which I think will bear some fruit. But allow me to have that conversation with the CEO who is not here. And once that conversation with the CEO is had and there is agreement, then we move quickly was ensuring that we could remedy that. And and it's beyond just between Trinidad and Tobago. We're looking at the direct flight from New York. Uh, in August, members of the diaspora were complaining that, look, we can't go online to see if there is a flight in December to come home for Christmas. We could get a flight to Trinidad all next year, but Cal isn't posting anything for Tobago. All of those things we have to work on remedying. If Caribbean Airlines is our national airline and Tobago is a part of the nation, then there has to be some more emphasis on Tobago in the bill out for Caribbean Airlines. And we want to support that by putting some resources behind that as well.
Thank you so much, Chief, there, of course, for bringing updates to us here at the Tobago Updates Television about world travel market, the conversations that are being had, the negotiations that are being made, the things to look forward to as we benefit from said conversations and negotiations. And one thing I want to point out is the resorts that are going to be constructed on the island of Tobago. They are going to be Tobago-centric, and they're going to sell Tobago as a product. The real true value of Tobago, the culture of Tobago will be depicted, I'm hoping, in these new constructions of these resorts. We thank you so much because Tobago is such a beautiful place. Our culture is rich, as you mentioned. Our people are warm. And of course, the conversation must always also include our food, our local cuisine that, of course, is featured there in the magazine as seen by our Chief Secretary. Conversations are happening across there in London, England, as they talk about World Travel Market 2023. We look forward to the outcomes of all these conversations. We look forward to the benefits that we can enjoy here in Tobago as a people, our economy and our culture continuing to grow and to blossom as people on the outside welcome and embrace our very culture. Thank you so much, Honorable, for sharing the updates with us. We will continue the conversation with you as the days progress, as we see where the conversation takes us.
Just before we close, we have a question on the inside. Confirmations with regards to the presentation, reprioritization of the budget based on what we're actually working with now. Is there a commitment in terms of going back to the House, as has been the practice in more recent times?
Absolutely. We'll be returning to the House end of November. We're sitting at the end of November, and subject to the broad policy things that were pitched last week from Upper Space side, on the 15th, we sit with all the accountants in the space, led by the administrators and the chief administrator, and work out the dollars and cents behind these broad policy objectives and projects. And we will have a press conference at the end of that session on the 15th. And then after that, we go to the House at the end of the month and present it in the House as well. So that's absolutely going to happen as per the tradition.
All right. Thank you very much there for that update and confirmation. And views, we've been chatting with the Honorable Chief Secretary Farley Chavez Augustine out there with the team, Secretary, Chief Administrator, and the team representing Tobago, certainly positioning Tobago at World Travel Market 2023. And we do look forward to continuing to enjoy the fruits of that labor there on the outside and that representation in that, that worldwide travel market.
That's right.
Been a very interesting morning in terms of the updates being provided as well coming in, just to give a sense of what's happening there. And just as you said, commendations indeed to be able to get some of these updates real time.
Yes.
Seeing what's happening by way of the social media for the Tobago House of Assembly, Chief Secretary's page, tourism, etc., TTAL, and also at the same time making themselves available to facilitate the necessary engagements and updates. So many more questions for the Chief Secretary beyond World Travel Market, but we look forward to those upcoming discussions in terms of really getting that perspective. As they say, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
That's right. That's right.
Viewers, we want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you, those connecting with us this morning. I see in the mix Margarita, Lavion, Ashby Cupid. Good morning to you. Javon, Sharon Mills, Christiana Lindo, good morning to you. Selma Lashley, one of our faithfuls there. Francine George, Paradise James, Suzette James. Suzette James. Certainly. To each and every one of you connecting with us out there. Terry Trinidad in the mix, and the list goes on. We want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show. We leave it here for today, but we invite you to stay connected and stay tuned, because we're heading straight on in. I'm heading over to GMT this morning, and just before we head on into GMT, we will have Tobago Notes. So we're saying bye for now, but stay connected, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.